Today's the 7th of April, Monday. Today was our pop pattern on the SPY cycle patterns in counter trend mode. And today was the day that I highlighted the potential that we may see that base in the 520 to 480 range. So again, I think I did use this as a daily. This is the same chart that I was working with. This is a cycle patterns. It's probably over here. Yeah, there it is. So this is where I kind of illustrated that we could be moving in this 520 to 480 range. You can see the line that I drew here, the green line representing an upward bar to the upside. And that was going to be our pop pattern today. It really did mature back to the upside, just like I expected. Tomorrow is again a counter trend bottom rally start pattern. Now, normally a bottom rally start pattern is kind of like a bottom pattern where it bottoms sharply and moves higher. Given the fact that we had this move up to 523, where I kind of called that level, that 515, 520 area as a top, tomorrow, go down to hourly here, I am expecting a different type of a pattern. So this is today, right here, these roughly 7-8 bars. Then tomorrow, I'm expecting a little bit of a higher move here overnight, moving up and rolling down back into a lower close. That's going to be our top rotating or call it selling start. It's kind of like a big inverted U type of a pattern. So understand then that we move into, whoops, where is it? Oh, did I close it? Uh-oh. Come back over here and open it back up. So tomorrow we're looking at that bottom rally start. Then we look at a top resistance pattern, then a flat down, then a breakaway and carryover trend. So understand that we're really looking at some consolidation here. We're looking at another topping pattern the next day, and then consolidation, and then potentially a breakaway down to the downside. So there's your whole week kind of laid out for you. Really, another topping pattern here, consolidation, and then rolling into potentially a breakaway pattern into Friday, trying to retest those lows. And then I would assume that we are going to move into an up, down, up pattern, which means that this pattern would be down. So this consolidation here would tend to be to the upside. Let me redraw that. So this consolidation would tend to be slightly higher, like in that mode. So we would have an up, down, and then over here, we would end up with an up pattern going up. And then we would move into a base rally, blank, bearish exhaustion. So the way I see that, a base rally would be a fairly organic type of a rally phase, back up maybe into this 525 area, and then we might get some consolidation, and then we may end up in a consolidation. That breakaway pattern, bearish exhaustion, could roll us very easily back to the downside, back over here. Okay, well, two things. A lot of great comments recently. I didn't get a chance to do another video for everyone today except for this one. So just understand we're gonna likely stay trapped in this consolidated range between 480 and 520, 525 for the next 4 or 5 days. We may not get a whole lot of movement. The markets may be trapped. We're going to settle back down, I think. moving into this consolidation range. And as I mentioned to you earlier, we could see a fairly strong move in gold and silver once basing happens. Bitcoin is legging its way down. Now, remember, I highlighted that we were going to get down into this 73,200. I called this 76,000 as well, which was the previous low over here. We're really on our way down to this 63,000 area. So be aware that we've got a good $15,000 to wipe out on the downside here. And gold and silver, even though we're not seeing any great moves yet, we're still seeing some basing set up over here, which I like to see. We'll see if it holds. Same type of basing happening here. We'll see if it holds. I think if the markets settle, gold and silver could continue to rally. But what I really wanted to highlight here today was the fact that I called this daily range just, I mean, I've gotten so many comments today. I don't know how to tell you. I mean, I've literally called this at the 520 to 525 high. So basically right in this area, which is exactly where we were at. And then I called this 480 low, which is right here. And that is exactly the range that we had today. I mean, literally, I called it to a T that we would move into consolidation, we would move into sideways trading, that we'd reached our low near 480 or would reach our low near 480, and then begin to roll into sideways trading as we move into the excess phase peak consolidation pattern. And what's really, here's the excess phase peak, and here's our consolidation pattern. So here we rally up, we reach our excess phase peak, draw it in blue. Here's our flagging, there's our flag low, should be a straight line. Here's our breakdown into first stage I thought was going to be consolidation. This sets up our breakdown into consolidation, I believe, right now. Now we should be moving into this consolidation between 525, 528 before we get into our June, July breakdown and then back into our October breakdown. And that's a little drawn off kilter. Let's try it again. Here's our breakdown coming down. We move into this consolidation phase for the June, July breakdown, and then maybe into the October breakdown before we try to get out. Okay. And that's really, again, I've been telling you this for months. I mean, if you followed me, you already know long enough that, you know, I've been telling you the same stuff for over 90 days now. And I think the original range of the consolidation pattern was between these, or is between these two levels. And I think now that we've established the high, I believe that the new range is going to be down between these levels here, 520, 525, right in this area. This is kind of an ultimate, let's call this, I'll make this a darker color, and basically call this kind of an ultimate high level. But this is going to be the level that's going to play out over the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks as we continue to consolidate into this range. Now, these breakdowns, this one in July could be kind of a false move. Don't know yet. That's a couple months away. And this one here in October, I still believe is going to be the lower low. Although I've warned you before that the one in October could be a higher low, setting up something like this. And what that would mean is that we would get kind of a head and shoulders formation here, kind of rolling back up an inverted head and shoulders. But that's months, that's 6, 7 months away. Let's see how this plays out over here before we try to get too critical about what's going to happen 7 months from now. Anyway, guys, look, nailed it. Thanks for playing along. Remember, we're all here to try to help one another. Let's see how this thing plays out. Let's figure out how to get our profits and call it good for the day. And as I told you, the next 3, 4 weeks are probably going to be fairly consolidated. within a pretty broad range, within about a 45 point range on the SPY. So be aware of the fact that, there's a lot of what I call crash dummies out there telling you the stock market is crashing. Yeah, I mean, technically the stock market's come down, but like I tried to show you on this chart originally, this is what this chart was for. How bad does this look? Does this look like a crash to you? Yeah, it's a pullback. Not much different than this pullback. And we still have about from high to low roughly, got about a 19% pullback. Whoops. Go away. From high to low, we had about a 25% pullback. And so now, when you get right down to it, guys, this is a nice solid correction and a big uptrend. We are moving into a parabolic mode. You can already see it here. I've tried to draw it, but I'll draw it a little heavier. You can see that we're moving into a very solid parabolic type of trend, and that's going to continue all the way. In my opinion, it's going to continue to accelerate upward and upward into a parabolic mode that we're just getting started on. Okay, so don't let the crash shares freak you out. Don't get too short. Just if the best advice I can tell you is follow my research, decide whether or not you like it, decide whether or not you trust it, and then, like I said, use it to counter some of the others that are out there just looking for clickbait. Because the reality is I'm trying to show you how to use price as the ultimate indicator, not following all these YouTube people that are going to call a crash all the way up like they did over here, just like they did over here. They just were calling crash, 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 and now they're going to take credit for it, and then it's going to chew them up all the way over. So be aware. There's a lot of people out there that are, whoops, get rid of that are looking for nothing but clickbait. Okay, I'm going to let you go. We'll be at it tomorrow. Just wanted to give you a heads up that we're looking at another rolling price day tomorrow. So don't expect the markets to get out of this range yet. Between 520, 525 is the high, 480 roughly is the low, and that's going to be our range. I think we're going to stay in this range, quite considerably over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. All right, guys, talk to you later. Get some.